Hello from Dubai. I'm Rachel Price and welcome to the podcast Not Just Making the Tea, a show where we talk about the realities of our career and life choices, what life skills there are to be learned, and how they can influence and help us to succeed. It's all about celebrating the parts that don't go to plan as much as those which do. So welcome to Season 2. This season, the focus will be looking at how we can continue to develop ourselves to ensure that we are getting the most from our lives, both professionally and personally. The aim is that there'll be some chats with the experts along the way, whilst also the regular podcasts about the skills and attributes that we need to continue developing. So please do keep listening. I hope that you enjoy listening, find the topics thought-provoking, entertaining, and that they add some positive vibes to your day. So on that note, let's get started with today's topic. I walked into an interview with no elevator pitch, and here's what happened. Talking about yourself may seem easy enough, but do you know how to effectively sell who you are and what you do? We hear it all the time, always be prepared. And when applied to your career, that means being ready for those tough interviews and meeting, exuding confidence when selling your own personal brand. It means having your pitch, who you are, what you do, and why you do it, always readily prepared. So why do you need a personal pitch, and why should you always have it ready? When I left my first job here in Dubai, I had no plans other than to put everything in storage, travel around the world with one check-in bag, and then to return to Dubai sometime in the following 8 to 9 weeks. Whilst I travelled, I had plenty of time to think about my next move. Was I going to go back into the classroom, or should I try something different? When I eventually did get back, I spent the first few weeks setting up multiple informational interviews and meeting really interesting people across various industries. Each time I would explain to them that I was looking at my options and trying to learn as much as I could about potential career paths. Since I was focused on receiving information and advice that they were always willing to give, the pressure was off me, and meetings generally were fun, helpful and laid back. But I also knew that at some point in the near future I was going to have to get serious about finding a job. So what I learned the hard way and rather quickly was that outside of my own network, my go-to informational interview approach wasn't really up to par. So here's a brief story from back then. On this particular day, I had a meeting with a rather savvy business lady who happened to be very well connected. Foolishly, I showed up, as I'd been doing all along, planning to ask her lots of questions and imagining that we'd have an easy flowing conversation from the get-go. I was so focused on hearing about her experiences that I hadn't prepared anything specific to say about myself and what I was looking for. That was my rookie mistake. Right away she asked me how I found out about her and wanted to know what I was working on and what I was looking to get out of our meeting. Rightly so, she expected me to have a pitch and purpose. Since she wasn't bubbling with enthusiasm from the very first moment that I met her, and why should she be, she knew nothing about me or why I was taking up her time, I started to feel nervous. After spluttering a painfully long explanation of my various past projects, I found it difficult to turn the conversation back around to her. By the end of the meeting, which was brief because I'd rushed to wrap it up, I asked what advice she might have for a professional like myself. "Always have a pitch prepared," she said simply. It stung a bit to hear because I knew that she was serving up some fresh advice. I had become accustomed to people, primarily close friends and family, responding positively to my various projects, and I hadn't had to explain myself to someone with less than a vested interest. So I immediately went home to work on my pitch, call it an elevator pitch or a personal pitch or whatever you will, that I should have prepared before our meeting. After copious research, I came up with a streamlined series of questions. Though the content changes depending on the meeting and the objectives, the following outline has helped me craft and recraft my personal pitch prior to every important meeting. So how to prepare your pitch? Number 1. Firstly, ask yourself these 3 questions and be as direct, honest and genuine as you can in your answers. What do I want? List no more than 3 things. What do they want? Again, list no more than 3 things. And finally, what do they expect? And how can I make my pitch stand out? Use your answers to draft a succinct, no more than 2 or 3 sentences, pitch about yourself, who you are, what you're working on, and why you're at that particular meeting. Then do the following. So number 2, do research on the person that you're meeting. Number 3, take notes and consider points of conversation. And number 4, practice, practice, practice. Practice delivering your pitch in the mirror, on a video, and or with your best friends. So in conclusion, whether or not you are a natural at selling yourself or are good at thinking on the fly, it's important always to have an up-to-date personal pitch prepared. At some point, it's likely that you'll find yourself in some kind of social or professional environment that feels awkward or even uncomfortable. And having a pitch rehearsed will help you speak clearly and confidently about yourself and the work that you do. Thankfully, I've gotten better at doing this and have found that having my pitch ready and being able to adapt it on the fly has become much easier and more natural to me. It's even got me a job when I was least expecting it. I was in a meeting to sell another company's educational programs and I was offered a brand new job role. Sometimes it just happens, and with the confidence to talk about yourself, your attributes and achievements at any given time, who knows what opportunities may present themselves. And so the final thing to remember is that your personal pitch is simply you selling yourself, and who knows you better than you. So that's today's podcast. I hope that you found it interesting and helpful. Thank you for taking the time to listen. If you've enjoyed this episode, then please do subscribe and get new episodes sent to you weekly. You can do that for free via Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, and other providers. I appreciate everyone who takes the time to listen, so please do subscribe, like, tell your friends, and send me any comments. And how about rating the podcast? Please also check out the Instagram page, Not Just Making the Tea, for more information on these topics and more. For activities and resources, go to the Learning Hub on educationyala.teachable.com. There is a direct link in the podcast information. Thank you once again, keep safe and chat soon. Have a great day.